we live largely in a very unproductive society. That's why the only thing that is attractive here is politics and church. You need to dismantle it. And we're going to turn night vigil into night shift so people can be productive. But we cannot have people Monday to Friday be in church morning and night. No.
It's a beautiful day. I want to respond to what Peter Obi said yesterday about turning night vigils into night shift. We must give it to Peter Obi on his, effort way of using words to actually gravitate and, of course, to inspire the Nigerian people. For me, I've always been an advocate of more of productivity over going to church. Whereas if my listeners are, by provision in diaspora, they will understand what I mean. That as a human being, going to church is not necessarily a necessity. Going to church, what I mean going to church every day. It's only in Nigeria they deem to kind of demonize you and make you feel bad because you don't go to church probably every Sunday, or perhaps you don't go to the midweek church services, and they start telling you, why we have not seen you? It seems the devil is now taking over your mind. Why are you staying away from God? Listen and listen carefully. I have a friend who lives in the United Kingdom who moved, I think he moved as a 2022 thereabout, and he has spent almost 2 years now because he moved around December. And this is a guy who, after he landed in that United Kingdom, he said, I spoke with him yesterday. He said he has only been to church not more than 4 times. Wakes up in the morning, sings his songs of, praises, just do his short 10 minutes prayer, and that's it. And this guy, I can categorically say that this guy is doing way better off than me. Let us take away the disparity in our money value, okay? Which is the obvious reason why he's doing better than me. But the question is, that country today did not get to that position they find themselves because they remain in that court of prayer, right? Religion is good for moral checks and balances. Religion helps to guide the mind of the people against evil and greed. But what is more important is the system, the government, good governance. If it was only religion alone, I think Nigeria today should be a paradise. I think Nigeria today, we should have instant judgment from God when we see our politicians, filtering away our money. But that is not the case. And it has been proven for over 64 years that prayer will never solve our problems. In Nigeria today, every governmental functions they want to do, they are going to start with prayers and end with prayers. And then I ask myself, to what need? Like, why don't you just make your national anthem encapsulate prayers and, of course, patriotism, and let it be national anthem starting your meetings and the Nigerian national anthem ending that same meeting? Then, in every way of our life, we always have that differences coming to our face, whereby a Christian might start with the opening prayer, and then a Muslim might start with the closing prayer. And then there's always that battle of superiority, right? There's always that battle, like my religion is better than yours. It is my religious person that should be in the seat of power. It is my religious person that I want to get married to. It is my religious person that I want to employ. It is because this guy is a Muslim, I cannot work with him. The Muslims are barbaric. It is because this guy is a Christian, I'm not going to work with the Christians because they are infidels. This diversity is so broadened, even with the way Nigeria practices religion. So Peter Obi said yesterday that night vigils we must attack night vigils. And I have seen so many protectors, advocates of religion. These are potential pastors and ministers, right? Because these are people who have the intention to go into that religious industry. These are the Nigerian people who wants to, in a matter of years or months, have been practicing, and they want to establish their own church because they understand that the church is a business that the government never look into. And by the way, churches are one of the biggest SPVs for money cleansing and, of course, laundering. Right? Yes, in Nigeria today, religion has become a coven for the politicians to hide their ill-gotten money, wherein they donate and afterwards send excesses to the pastors. Have you seen where EFCC investigate the earnings of churches? Why are churches not declaring what they make in form of tithe and offerings? After all, those tithes, if I going to look at it biblically or even Quranically, the zakat or the tithe are supposed to be channeled to fend for the poor. The colonial masters that brought this religion, because Christianity and Islam are foreign religions, in their own countries, the churches are mandated to build food banks. In America, this is what they do. If you are founded on a street, you are supposed to build a food bank where the downtrodden come, they get a food stamp from you, they get a weightage of amount of food from that food bank on a weekly basis. Like in Nigeria today, we have so many Catholic churches, we have so many, Muslim, like mosques everywhere. Those churches are supposed to be written an instruction. If you are in every street, just within your compound, you're supposed to have a food bank. And that food bank must not be limited to your church members. A considerable amount of people on a weekly basis must be able to get something. So whatever I donate as a tithe, if I donate maybe 1,000, 5,000, whatever the thing is, a portion I know is going to the poor. And from that, criminality will reduce. Do you get the point? The government wouldn't have to always think about, okay, the churches, do I regulate them? Do I tax them? Because you are doing your own part back by giving back to the economy because you are collecting tithe. The people who pay that tithe actually work for it. And if there was nothing like tithe, if the government was supposed to collect, let's say for instance, you make 100,000, there was no tithe, that 100,000, the whole of perhaps 30,000 would go to the government. But because and I mean the owner of the money will have 70,000 left as disposable income, right? Now, because you are been brainwashed to pay tithe, you pay 30,000 naira to the government, you now take 10,000 naira to the church, then you are not even poorer because you now have 60,000. Now, from that 60,000, you are still the one that will go to the street. The church will tell you when you see the poor, pay, right? But instead, the church are supposed to be the one catering for the poor. The church are supposed to be the one because they collect massive amount of tithe, giving food, building homes for the homeless, giving money to the government to build homes for the homeless, writing requests that they want to build homes for the homeless. So you now see the church pastors and of course the mosque imams riding Escalade, right? Building airstrips for their airplanes. They have so many series fleet of aeroplanes. Look at the Canaan Land pastor. Look at the RCCG pastor. I mean, in Nigeria today, we understand that the pastors are actually the richest. When you talk about religious institution, the pastors, especially the Pentecostal pastors, are so damn rich that they are even richer than some states. Yes, some pastors are richer than some states. I can tell you categorically that some pastors are richer than Zamfara. Yes, on a weekly basis, what they rake in as tithes and offering is unbelievable. So the words of Peter Obi saying that night vigils must be changed to night shift is a welcome idea for me. And also this align with the words of Showore, who has always said, church is a scam. He has lived over 2 decades in the Western world. And he has seen how the white people who gave us this religion, how they see religion. They don't see religion as a coping mechanism against economic hardship. They don't see religion as a place of refuge when your government is failing. The white people do not see religion as the omnipotent or the alpha and omega of whatever your problem is. The whites see the religion as a place for inspiration and motivation, and of course to check your what? Your conscience. C'est fini. Nothing more than that. When the governments are failing, the whites will not say that God will give us a better leader. No. When the government have not fixed the potholes, the whites will not go to church and say that God, I am embarking on a journey today. Please don't let me have a fatal road accident. The white guys will hit the street. They'll walk down straight to the house of the government and protest aggressively. They would demand for their rights. They will not go to an heavenly father. They will not. They will go to their earthly God, which is their government. Because on this earth, whether you like it or not, on this mother earth that we find ourselves, whether you like it or not, your government is your God. Because a government can make you disappear. A government can make you silent forever. A government, no matter how rich you are, can make you a poor person in a matter of just days. By, bringing terrible policies, right? So the Nigerian people must understand that my talk this morning is not against religion. My talk this morning is against the abuse of religion by these fake pastors parading themselves as men of God. These are people who are living an unbelievable, ostentatious lifestyle, luxurious lifestyle. These are people who are living in mansions, pastors who are working with police guards. Why should a pastor be riding in a bulletproof car? Who is chasing after you? Right? You're not even a politician. Okay? Why are pastors acting like they have immunity? So we must understand as Nigerians that for Nigeria to be better, we must have that revolution against religion, against the abuse of religion. And for us as Nigerians to have a successful revolution, that revolution cannot have happened without capturing religion institution. Because religion is supposed to be the most powerful tool that galvanizes the people. Because no matter your ethnic coloration, whether you're an Hausa, you will see an Hausa and an Igbo together in church. Whether you're a Fulani, you see a Fulani and a Yoruba in the mosque. So you can see how powerful religion is. Our religious leaders must begin to speak truth to power. But unfortunately, that has not been happening.